Welcome! This is part 2 of the lesson about Google Share, sharing our files and folders. We started with a concept overview where we talked about the limitations if the owner of the Adult RE committee decides to keep all the files and folders on their personal laptop and what kind of issues that might create. We also talked about a different way of working where the chair of the Adult RE decides to store the files and folders on a Google Drive, like a hub that everybody on the team can access, and what might be the benefits of volunteering in this way instead. Now we're going to get to how to actually do it. How do I share my files and folders and set my permissions at different levels depending on what it is this file or folder is about? First up is sharing a single item with a link. The practical example we gave in part 1 for this condition, anyone on the internet with a link can view the Spring Adult RE flyer. It's a PDF. How are we going to share it? Let's take a look behind the scenes. Here's a class flyer for our pretend Adult RE class. Let's go ahead and open it. We can see the flyer. It's going to be in September from 7 to 8. This is something you are using to advertise your class. You want everybody to be able to sign up and know about it if they're interested in it. So this is something that you would want to have for anyone on the internet who has this link. They can go ahead and look at this class flyer and know how to register and email the Adult RE at orlandouu.org address. So let's go ahead and actually share it. You'd come up here to the 3 little dots and you'd click on it, and then you slide down to the little share plus, looks like a little person with a plus next to it. Click on the share, and inside you get to choose. Come down here to get link. Right now it's unrestricted. We're going to change to anyone with the link. So click on that. Notice how it opens some more options. Anyone with the link can do what? And it's defaulting to anyone on the internet with this link can view it. That's exactly what we want. Anybody with this link, they can go ahead and view it. Go ahead and click done. And if you come back, you can do the share again. And then you can see that you have shared it. Anyone on the internet with this link can view it. You can copy the link, and at that point you can put the link in the e-blast, you can put it on your web page, you can share it with people directly. It's up to you, but anybody is allowed to look at your poster. Here's how to do the next example. We have talked about sharing a single item, not by inviting the people specifically with emails, but just by sending them a link. And the example that I had given was maybe you have a lesson 1 and you have a brainstorming doc, and you don't know who the students are who want to sign up for this class yet. You don't know their emails. You've just started setting up your class, but you want to get your lesson plan ready. Here's what you could do. You're going to go ahead and click on the lesson 1 brainstorm activity that you wanted to do as a shared document. It shows the different bubbles that feed your spiritual growth: communal worship, spiritual practices, mind practices, body practices. And that's something that we would talk about in that lesson. And then lower down, there's this table where the students who are brainstorming can go ahead and read, okay, personal spiritual practices. This is things that you do alone and maybe daily, such as meditation and so on. And over here, they could add in the brainstorm time other things that could be considered personal spiritual practices, communal worship practices, spiritual practices, and so on. But to give them the access to that, you have to be able to share the document. Same thing as before. Come up to the top, click on the share button. This time, you're going to get a shareable link. You're not filling out with specific emails because you don't even know who the students are yet. What you're going to do is to change to anyone with the link, right? And anyone on the internet with this link can, and you come to the toggles and choose edit. Now, this is a very temporary thing, and you're actually not going to share this link with whoever in the world. But it's just making it easier for you as the teacher for when you get to this particular lesson. You click done, And then if you go back there, when it's time to teach the lesson, you can go ahead, you see it, anyone on the internet with this link can edit. You can copy the link to your clipboard. And then when you're in your Zoom meeting, you can post the link in the chat window, and then all your students can go ahead and do a collaborative brainstorm that way without you having to invite each and every single student individually. Then when the lesson is over, you can come back to the share and then just change the access again to restricted, and then nobody can mess with it because we're done brainstorming. We're not going to add any more things. Next up, we have how to share a single item with specific people. The practical example of restricted access to one specific file, we wanted to give one particular person the link so that they could comment on the side. Not edit the whole document, but I just wanted some feedback on my lesson plan. So let's see what that looks like behind the scenes. How to do it. We're gonna go and open the folder. Here is the curriculum document with all the lessons. I'm gonna click on that and it opens. Look to the upper right, you'll see this share button. So go ahead and click on it. Under people, adding persons and groups, this is where you type the email address of the person that you're trying to contact. And I'm going to share it with Tiny Bites, and we're going to notify them, and I can ask them, where are the yoga mats and chairs? Please comment on the body practice lesson. All right, there we go. And now they know what to do when they get it in their email. Before I send this note though, look into the little toggle corner to give them the level of access that I want. I don't want them to edit my lesson plan. I just want them to be able to comment off to the side on it. So now that you've double checked your email, who you're sending it to, what kind of access you're going to give them, in this case, a commenter, write them their little note and then click send, and then they'll get that in their email. The person you invited is going to see the invitation in their email, and when they click on it and open it, it'll look something like this. Leadership Development shared something with you. Here's the thing. You can go ahead and open it and make comments on it. So what they sent me was a docx. I can go ahead and open it in Google Docs. And I can slide down to their lesson, or I could, do it up here. I happen to know where the lesson is. It's lesson 6. So here's the moving meditation that they were asking me about. You see how these little bubbles pop up when I click and drag to highlight that activity. The first one is to add a comment. So I'm going to click on it because I'm answering them their question. I left the yoga mats and folding chairs in the classroom, a closet. We need to scroll a little bit to see the comment button. Click on it to post the comment, and then they can see my comment off to the side. That's what giving them comment access means. This time we're going to give restricted access to a certain group of people, in this case the teaching team. We want them to have access to a whole folder, not just one file. Click on the folder to select it. It'll turn blue. This is the one you're going to share with people, Curriculum for Teachers. You can see the Share Plus symbol. You click on that. It's going to ask you, okay, you want to share this folder. Who do you want to share it with? And what kind of access are they going to get? Well, this is restricted access because it's only for my team of teachers. It's not for the whole church. It's not for all the students. It's definitely not for everybody in the whole wide world on the internet. So I'll go ahead and put their address when you Tiny Bites, and I'm going to send a message. Here is the Spirit in Practice curriculum and lessons. And now they know what they're getting, right? So we check before we hit this button. I know it's tempting, but check. The email is written out correctly. Your message makes sense, so they know that this is what they're supposed to be having and not mysterious thing that arrived in their email. You're going to check on the side what level of access you want. And yes, I want my teachers to be able to modify a lesson plan, so I'm going to leave it as editor. But if you wanted to put them as something else, you would click on the toggle and check whatever it is they wanted to do. At any rate, I've invited all the teachers. It could be one other teacher, it could be 5 teachers, who knows. But once you've filled in this part with all the emails, click send, and they'll go ahead and get that. And then notice how the little picture on the folder changed. Before it was gray, and now it's gray with a little person inside to let you know that this has become a shared folder with certain people. So the teachers that you invited to participate inside this folder area, they can go ahead and edit anything that's already in there. They can make new files inside there. They can even make new folders inside there.